What's up, guys? My name is Devin, also known as FBE, and welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. In today's video, we're going to be continuing the What Players Wear on the Field series, and today we're going to focus on Bengals superstar rookie standout wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase. So there's a couple reasons we chose Ja'Marr Chase for this video. One of those reasons is that he has tons of swag. He wears different gear every single week. He's absolutely killing it in the equipment department. And second of all, it was suggested by one of you awesome subscribers, Cal Sweeney. So Cal Sweeney commented, do Ja'Marr Chase. So I'll put the comment up here so you guys can see. So if there's any player that you guys want to see featured on this series, just comment them below. We check all the comments and we're going to try and do the players that you guys want to see most. So in case you guys have never watched one of our What Players Wear on the Field videos, here's kind of what we do in these videos. We take a player, in this case it's going to be Ja'Marr Chase, and we talk about his gear head to toe. Helmets, visors, chin straps, shoulder pads, gloves, thigh pads, cleats, anything that you guys see him wearing, we're going to do our best to cover and talk about. I'm going to give you guys information. I'm going to say why does he wear it, where you can get it, and how much the products cost, so you guys can swag out like the pros. So let's get right into this video. So we're going to kick things off with the helmet. Ja'Marr Chase wears the Schutt F7 and has been wearing it since his days in college at LSU. So as you guys may or may not know, the Schutt F7 is my personal favorite helmet on the market. For a couple of reasons. One of them is that it looks absolutely beautiful. I just love how this helmet looks. And second of all, it's really light. Something I value in a helmet is lightweight, and this thing weighs just over 4 pounds, I believe. I know the SpeedFlex is closer to 5 pounds, so that's pretty light for a football helmet. Another key feature on this helmet is these plates that you guys see on the top. So these are Schutt's tectonic plates, and what they do is they actually move independently from the rest of the shell to disperse rotational impact, which is something that especially wide receivers, running crossing routes over the middle, experience all the time. So according to my research last year, in 2020, the Schutt F7 was the most popular helmet among starting NFL wide receivers. So as you guys could have guessed, this is a 5-star rated helmet. So this is one of the safest helmets in football, according to the Virginia Helmet Tech Rating Scale. And what they do is they rate helmet safety. And this is one of the best ones that they've tested so far. If you guys are interested in getting yourself a Schutt F7, they start at $500 on Schutt Sports website. They start at $500 and then they go up to as much as $1,000. So there's kind of range, different options, different things. But in my opinion, like I said, this is my favorite helmet in football, and this is what Ja'Marr Chase is rocking. The next thing we're going to talk about is Ja'Marr Chase's clear Oakley visor. Chase has worn a visor pretty much his entire football career. You guys can go check the photos from LSU. He's almost always wearing a visor. But at LSU, he mostly wore a Nike visor because they're a Nike school. But now that he's in the NFL, he's wearing an Oakley visor. In case you guys did not know, Oakley is the official optics provider of the NFL. They inked a deal I think back in 2019. It's a 4-year deal. So all the visors you see on the field have to be Oakley. Obviously, some players aren't really complying with the rules, but those are the rules. Some of you guys have never worn a visor or don't understand why players wear them. One, it looks cool. 2, it helps keep debris, dirt, grass out of your eyes. And 3, it keeps fingers out, which happens a lot more than you think. I said that in the last video, and I'm going to say it again because it's true. Sometimes people get poked in the eye. It's a real thing, all right? But Ja'Marr Chase wears his with the Oakley quick release clips, which are becoming more and more common in the NFL. In case you guys didn't know, in the NFL, Under Armour unbranded clips used to be the standard, but now that Oakley is the official optics provider, we are seeing a lot more of their thinner, more low profile Oakley kind of snap clips. They're pretty cool. So if you guys are interested in getting an Oakley visor, they're about $50. We'll have an East Bay link for you guys in the description. The next visor I want to talk about is one that Chase has only worn in pregame and in practice, and that is going to be his Oakley Blue Sapphire visor. So I'm not 100% sure that this is called Blue Sapphire. With these Oakley visors, it's really hard to tell which color is which, and that's because they are a different color at every angle. So depending on the lighting and the angle of the visor, they always look like they're a different color, so they're kind of tough to identify. Occasionally, Ja'Marr Chase pulls this out for practice or pregame. He can't wear it in games because of the NFL's visor policies. So basically, you can only wear a clear visor unless you have a doctor's note, and then you can wear a slightly tinted visor. That's kind of why guys like Kamara and DK and some of those guys are able to wear tinted visors. But for the most part, clear visors are the only thing allowed in games, which kind of explains why he has to wear his Blue Sapphire visor for pregame and practice only. If you guys are interested in getting the Oakley Blue Sapphire visor, they're currently out of stock on Oakley's website, but I'm pretty sure they're either $90 or $70. I can't remember which. I'm pretty sure it's $90. So now we're going to make our way down to these shoulder pads. Ja'Marr Chase wears the X-Tech X2 shoulder pads. When Ja'Marr Chase first got to Cincy, he initially was wearing Douglas shoulder pads in a black and orange colorway. But throughout the season, at some point, I'm not sure when, he switched to X-Tech X2 shoulder pads. X-Tech shoulder pads are probably the most common in the NFL because they are light, they're comfortable, and they're really low key, and they allow for plenty of range of motion, which is something obviously really important to Ja'Marr Chase, who has to go up and grab those high passes. Ja'Marr Chase also wears an X-Tech backplate to help protect that lower back. If you guys have any interest in X-Tech shoulder pads, we're going to have a link below so you guys can just kind of shop what they have. They're really cool pads, and they're really common in the NFL. All right, guys, now it's time to talk about gloves. I do kind of want to warn you guys, Ja'Marr Chase has worn a lot of gloves, and we did our best to cover as many as we can. But the guy wears a lot of gloves. He switches at halftime. He switches every practice. So we're going to try and keep it somewhat brief, but we're still going to cover a lot of the gloves that he's worn so far. First pair I want to talk about is his Nike VaporJet 6.0 PE. So these are player exclusives built for Ja'Marr Chase. They're custom to him. You're not going to see anybody else wearing these specific gloves. So he's worn a couple different PEs, but I'm going to focus on two pairs that I think are just really cool, and they're the ones that I found like good photos of, so I'm going to focus on those. So the first one is a super duper clean Bengals themed white and orange pair. So the back of hand is orange, and then it has orange decals, and my favorite part is on the palm he has his numero uno, number 1, which obviously is his jersey number, and I think it's just a really clean glove overall, and looks really good when the Bengals are in white. So the second pair he wears is a black and orange pair with some really subtle details. So if you guys look really closely, and I mean like really closely, get out a magnifying glass, all right? There is a pattern on the front of the glove, on the palm. And the pattern is a number 1 in Bengals in like this gray, super subtle color. If you guys, like I said, if you guys look really closely, you guys will see it, but I think it's so dope to me. So the next pair or pairs that I want to talk about is his Nike VaporJet 6.0s. So these are not going to be PEs. These are just like regular VaporJet 6.0s. During training camp, he wore a lot of these. He wore them in black, orange, and white, pretty much just solid standard colors. He probably wore these before his PEs were ready for him. They were probably still in the factory getting made for him, so he had to resort to like, you know, the regular version that everybody else has to wear. If you guys do want to buy a pair of Nike VaporJet 6.0s, they are my favorite glove of 2021. They're $45, and we will have an eBay link down below for you guys. So the next glove that he wore a little bit in training camp is going to be the Nike Knit 4.0. So yes, these are technically the Jordan Knit that you guys saw a review on. If you guys haven't seen that video, go watch it, please. It's dope. So basically what Ja'Marr Chase is wearing in this photo is these Jordan Knits rebranded as Nike. So the Jordan branded version is the only one released to the public. The Nike versions are exclusive to the NFL and the NCAA football teams. So if you guys want to get the Nike Knit 4.0, you can't, but you can buy the Jordan Knit at eBay for 60 bucks. So yeah. Next pair I want to talk about real quick is the Nike VaporJet 4.0 Salute to Service pair. So keep in mind, Ja'Marr Chase wore these in training camp, which is like July, August. Salute to Service month isn't until November, which is right now. I don't know when you guys are seeing this, but I assume it's going to be in November. But he tested this pair early in August, which is kind of weird. Another reason it's weird is because these gloves are from 2017. So he must be getting really close with his equipment manager, because he is trying, or in training camp at least, he was trying all kinds of gloves. So the next and last pair of gloves that I want to talk about that Ja'Marr Chase has worn is the Nike VaporKnit 2.0. So this is another older glove. These initially released in 2017 and were the second VaporKnit model. But yeah, so there you go. VaporKnit 2.0. They were orange. He wore them for like one practice. All right, guys, so that's all we have for Chase's gloves. He wore a lot. Hopefully you guys are still watching. But Chase is constantly wearing new things, all right? I want you guys to really understand that. So do us a favor and let us know in the comments if you guys prefer these longer style videos where we cover every single piece of equipment that the player wore throughout the entire season, or if we should just keep it to the stuff that they primarily wear most. So as we continue our way down, the next thing we're going to talk about is Ja'Marr Chase's custom Trey decal thigh pads. If you guys watched the Jalen Ramsey and Saquon Barkley video, you guys have heard about the Trey decal thigh pads, and they are the newest trend amongst NFL players. So in case you guys don't know what Trey decal thigh pads are, basically they're thigh pads and they have designs, numbers, words, quotes, whatever you guys want on them, and they show through your game pants. So it's like a super subtle way to show off a little bit of something and express yourself on the field in kind of a low-key manner. For Ja'Marr Chase's custom thigh pads, one of them has a Bengals logo and the other one has the word uno on the other, which obviously is Spanish for number 1, which is his number. If you guys are interested in getting your own custom Trey decals, we will have a link. It's treydecals.com. Go check them out. They have some preset options as well as the ability to customize your own. All right, guys, now it's time to talk about cleats. Just like gloves, he has gone through so many pairs of cleats. So I've picked some of the best to kind of showcase, and some of them I left off because they just weren't that exciting or he didn't wear them for a very long time. But let's kick it off with probably the coolest cleats in the game, and that is going to be the Nike Vapor Ja'Marr Chase SMU, which stands for Special Makeup Cleats. So there's a couple reasons I want to lead off with these cleats. First of all, they're some of the coolest cleats I've seen in my entire life. Second of all, he wears them the most. And third of all, they are quite literally designed for him. These cleats are completely designed by Ja'Marr Chase and the Nike design team. They are special for him, hence the name Special Makeup. These cleats draw inspiration from a couple other different cleats, and they've kind of all been morphed together to form this unseen, never worn by anybody else, Ja'Marr Chase special makeup. So the traction plate on Chase's cleats is the Nike Vapor Edge traction plate, which is a two-piece construction, is the newest innovation from Nike. The key features are these edge studs placed on the outermost parts of your foot, so that is the first thing to touch when you're making a cut. Great traction plate, you can cut quickly and effectively. So the next thing I noticed about Ja'Marr Chase's special SMU cleats is the upper. It is not your traditional, it's not the exact same material as on the regular Nike Vapor Edge 360s. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not positive, that it is a lighter material, and I think it is the same as this heel part right here. You guys can probably see like that similar matte, buttery texture. It's a thin material, and it's definitely going to be a lot lighter than what's on the regular Vapor Edge models. So the next feature on these Ja'Marr Chase cleats is the lacing system, which is the exact same as these Nike Vapor Untouchable OBJ up-tempos. As you guys can see, it's got that same like hook and loop system. I'm not really sure what you call it, but it's definitely different than the regular Nike Vapor Edge 360 Pro, which has that ghost lacing sheet. So there's no ghost lacing. It is the exact same system as this, which is inspired by the original Nike Air up-tempos. So a really unique lacing system, which kind of makes these cleats stand out. So last thing I want to talk about, the last small detail about these cleats is the cuff. It is a weird cuff, and I'm pretty sure it's the same cuff as on the Vapor Untouchable Pro 3. I'm not positive, but like I said, these Chase SMUs, they take inspiration from a bunch of different cleats, as you guys probably just saw, and they're a special cleat. They're built for Chase. I guarantee Chase was like, I want this part of this cleat, this part of this cleat, and I want you to mash it all up. So clearly Chase has already established himself as a key prominent athlete in Nike's rotation, in their lineup, in their roster, and they have rewarded him with an insane pair of cleats worn by nobody else. So these are easily some of the coolest cleats we've seen all year long, and I wish that I would be able to get my hands on them for you guys. But for now, these photos from @button_ are going to have to do for you guys. The next pair of Ja'Marr Chase cleats that I'm going to talk about is the Nike Vapor Untouchable OBJ Up-Tempo, another PE cleat on this list. These Nike Vapor Untouchable OBJ Up-Tempos initially were a PE player exclusive cleat for Odell Beckham Jr., but something about OBJ is that he loves to share his stuff with his friends, and I'm pretty sure that he gifted this pair to Chase either when he was at LSU or right after he got drafted. That LSU brotherhood, the LSU wide receiver brotherhood, runs deep, and I'm pretty sure that's how Chase obtained this pair. Obviously, this is not the exact same pair, but it's very similar. The OBJ up-tempos have OBJ on the outside and then his number 13 on the inside. Pretty sure Chase's OBJ up-tempos that he wore for a couple weeks there have this traction plate, the old Vapor Carbon plate, and not the Vapor Untouchable plate on these ones. I'm pretty sure he wears this one, which is one of the best traction plates of all time. So if you guys want to swag out like Chase and get a pair of Nike Vapor Untouchable OBJ up-tempos, they do pop up sometimes, but they are incredibly expensive. So I do recommend checking GOAT, StockX, a lot of those like sneaker reselling sites, maybe eBay. There's pairs like this that dropped, and then there's a couple other colorways that dropped as well. So if you guys are interested in that, check your sneaker reselling app, all right? The next cleat that Ja'Marr Chase wore for a couple games this season is the Nike Vapor Untouchable Pro 1, which I believe dropped in 2016. So these are another older cleat, another old school decision choice from Mr. Chase. If you guys are interested in finding a pair of these, I think your best bet is probably on eBay. But some of the best cleats of all time has that Vapor Carbon or Vapor Untouchable plate. I love these cleats. Another pair that Ja'Marr Chase has rotated into his game day and practice rotation is the Nike Vapor Untouchable Pro 3. These cleats dropped initially in 2018, and he wore them at both LSU and now in the NFL with the Bengals. Again, one of the best cleats ever. I love these cleats. If you guys have ever worn these, you know exactly what I mean. These things are incredible, and they are still one of the most popular cleats in the NFL on game day. If you guys are trying to find a pair, you guys can sometimes find them on eBay, StockX, and GOAT. Again, super sought after, so the prices are kind of going up, but they're amazing football cleats. Now, the next pair that Ja'Marr Chase only wore for a very brief bit was a pair of Jordan 1 High cleats in that shadow black-gray colorway. He only wore them once. I think Jordan 1s are a little bit too bulky to wear at wide receiver because they're so wide, so heavy, and I don't like this traction plate very much. If you guys are interested in getting some Jordan 1 cleats, definitely check StockX, GOAT, eBay for some of those older generation general release Jordans. So again, there are most of the cleats he's worn this season in his very short 8-game NFL career. The guy has worn more cleats than, you know, Larry Fitzgerald or Aaron Donald has worn in their entire career in 8 games. Sometimes he goes into the locker room, changes his cleats at halftime. We did our best to follow it all for you guys and get all of the cleats into this one video, but we probably missed a couple. So if we did, comment them below, send me a message on Instagram. So there you guys have it. There's a full head-to-toe breakdown on superstar, one of the swaggiest players in the game, Ja'Marr Chase. Do us a favor right now and comment who you guys want to see in the next video. We do take those comments into account. Hope that you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, considering like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this. We're going to do a lot more of these what players wear on the field. My name is Devin, also known as FBE. And thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Footballrs.